Hey guys, welcome to today's video, which is going to be a review of the IFBB Pro Border Clash, which was the show I was at this past weekend. So I had my man Stephen Bogrand come with me. We got some incredible footage. So I'm going to go through kind of how the show was run, what I thought of some of the placings, some of the competitors. As I get to know them better, I feel I can provide some feedback for you guys. And actually, I got quite a few people that came up to me and mentioned that they like I was doing these videos. So first things first, let's talk about why they are now doing comparisons before individual routines. And here's Sandy.
Why are you doing the comparisons before the individual?
Oh, good question. This is a big controversy all the time from a judging perspective, because when you come out individually, okay, and I did the Army for 3-4 weeks ago, seems like it was years ago already, but a couple weeks ago, then I did a regional show last week. Okay, I was in Japan the week before. When you walk out individually, what am I comparing you to? Are you good? Are you bad? Are you the first? Are you the best in this class? Are you the worst in this class? To me, when I see the whole lineup, I'm not judging. This, I think athletes are really judging just from that lineup. No. It tells me where the quality is. So now when you come out first, I'm like, okay, I know where the quality is. For me, especially because I do so many critiques and feedback, it allows me to really focus on your body, because you're not, you're going to ask me what you can do to get better, but you're also asking me in the email, why did I get where I got today? And I have a better sense of where you're going to fit in the quality that's there. So when I talk to some of the judges that I really respect, and every one of them will say, I would rather see the lineup first. And I know it's a big deal with the athletes because they think, oh no, I'm getting judged, but no, it's not. I'm telling you. And I've actually had athletes now, forget who just judged last week with me. Was it LaToya? I'm not sure who it was, but somebody that's a pro and then judged amateur. Eric said the same. She said, got it. Totally understand why you want to see that lineup first. She said, I judge so much better when I have an idea of what the quality in that class is. Now again, when there's 5 or 6 or 7 in a class, that's a different ballgame. When you have 40 or 50, there is no way you're going to remember from first to last place. Where the quality, it's just so much from a judging standpoint. I just find that my judging, I feel better at the end of when I come to the night show, where I placed everybody, if I bring the lineup first. I do both ways. Some shows we do individuals first. I'm fine with that, but if I have my preference, I would always, I think from a judging standpoint, that it makes the judging a lot better. And if I was an athlete, that's what I would want done, because I think it gives the judges a better perspective.
So that was a cool explanation from Sandy about why they do the routines first. And I completely agree. When I go to watch these shows, when you see girls come out like this in groups of 7, 8, or 9, you can get a sense of what everyone looks like. And I think it's kind of important because honestly, the pros are so damn good. I think one of the things I noticed about this weekend being at this show is just how polished every single pro is. Being backstage with all the pro athletes while Natalie was getting ready, you look around and, it's pretty amazing. Everyone's just got their game. They're so polished by the time they get to the pros that everyone looks amazing. So it's really tiny little things that set everyone apart. And speaking of Natalie, so she's 4th from the left on this with the teal bikini. And, I was really happy with the package we brought. She's about 4 pounds heavier from when she turned pro. And I think all that weight went to her glutes because her glutes were not pronounced this week. So glutes seem to really come up on her, and legs in general. And she's a smaller girl. So it's important that we really get her muscles popping. And these are still comparisons. So there were 32 total pros. So they actually had groups of 8 come out. So it made it really nice to be able to see these girls in comparisons. And then they started doing call-outs. So, the best part about going to this show in my mind was it's the first time I've been backstage with the pros, been out watching them, spoke to Sandy before and after the show, spoke to a few of the other judges before and after the show, and just getting to learn kind of how the bikini division is unfolding. And so, going into this show, there were some big names. Second place at the Arnold ESO was here. Monica Ellis was here. So you knew there were going to be some top-level competitors. Now, this is Natalie Matthews' pro debut. And I don't usually include this type of stuff in the video. This is a video about the placings, but you know what? It's my channel. This is my girl, Natalie. I got to do her proud. So just going to put a little bit of her posing routine in here so you guys can watch her first time on the pro stage. And what's funny is we've actually now changed her front pose from that pose you saw there to a different one, which maybe I'll highlight later. But, you know, going to the show, seeing her on stage next to the pros, comparing, you know, it gave me some insight as a coach on how to improve things, how we can and do things. And we literally got feedback right after the show from Sandy, who is just an amazing person as far as the sport goes, why she does what she does. Being at the seminar, speaking with her, you know, you get to learn a lot. And I think the sport's in good hands with her. So this is the first call outs, and look at that stage. I mean, all pros on that stage look amazing. And then so the first call out was Monica Ellis was the first number called. Marcia Goncalves, Kim Gutierrez, Jordan Lee is moved out to the side. There's my friend Jesse Palmer, and here comes Isa Pacini. And so I think right away they move Isa to the middle, right next to Marcia. And, you know, being backstage and seeing all these physiques in person, you know, it's really tough to just separate them. You know, it just comes down to tiny little things. I think when you look at Isa, the one thing that stands out to me is, you know, not only is she very pretty, but her structure is crazy. She's taller than you think, and she's got more muscle than you think when you see her in person. She's got really wide shoulder structure, a tiny waist. And so there they moved Isa in, then they moved Marcia next to her. And so what I really noticed about this show as well was how much they judge these girls. They were on stage for about 40 minutes just being judged. And they really took their time with the call-outs, bringing the girls back on stage multiple times. Now, this video doesn't really do it justice. Seeing these girls in person, they were a lot harder. I mean, Marcia's glutes look etched out of stone when she's on stage, by far and away the hardest glutes in the show. But, you know, the one thing that I really liked was that they really judged them. You could tell that they were, this is the second call-out, so they basically took the top two off, which was Marcia and Isa, and then they brought out a few more girls. And, you know, Jessie Palmer got kind of moved to the center. Now, here's my friend Masa. I don't think she was as good as she was last year at Pacific USA's, so her placing kind of reflected that. And I think she was down a little bit, but she's got another show in San Diego, and I fully expect her to come back even better. So, yeah, this is the call-out that Natalie was in. And the great thing here was that Natalie actually got moved to center of her call-out, which, you know what, for her first pro show, we're very excited. We got great feedback. We changed some things. And so, yeah, I think the results speak for themselves. This show was very well run. One of my favorite shows I've ever been to. They just do an incredible job with the production, with the athletes. One thing I would like to add when it comes to the judging at this show was just how much they were paying attention. Because if you look here, this is technically the third call out, I guess. But you see the girl in the teal bikini on the right of the screen. That's Brianna Turner. Now, she ended up starting somewhere in the 12 to 13 position, but by the finals, she was actually moved up to 6th. So she moved up to the middle of this call out. They did another call out of 3 through 8, put her in that, and then kind of moved her closer to the middle of that call out. So, you know, what it did for me as a coach is it definitely gave me some insight into the fact that you can certainly move your way up through the call outs. The first call out does not determine how the show is run. There was actually a girl in the first call out, Jordan, who got moved out to the 7th position. So, you know, these judges were actually judging the show. It wasn't predetermined. And that's something as a coach that I really was happy to see. So anyway, guys, hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Just one final note. I wanted to give you guys the placings, the top 6 at least. So in first place, you had Isa Pacini. In second place, you had Marcia Goncalves. Third place was Monica Ellis. Fourth was Kim Gutierrez. Fifth was my good friend Jessie Palmer. Awesome work, Jessie. And sixth place, like I said, was Brianna Turner, who worked her way up throughout prejudging. So see you guys at the Indiana Pro. That's where Natalie's competing next. The next show I'll be at is in St. Louis for the Jack to Tone production. Talk to you guys soon.